Hey guys, tonight we're standing somewhere that shouldn't be silent. You're about to walk through plazas where 10,000 voices once rose in prayer and argument and laughter. And now there's only wind moving through empty doorways. We're talking about the Maya collapse, one of history's most haunting mysteries. And fair warning, good thing this isn't your life. Because what happened here between the 8th and 9th centuries still makes archaeologists wake up in cold sweats. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, I'm always curious. Drop a comment below telling me where you're listening from and what time it is for you right now. Are you in Tokyo watching the sunrise? Montreal battling winter? Somewhere in Arizona with cicadas singing outside your window? I love knowing you're out there. Now, dim the lights. Maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum. And let's ease into tonight's journey together. Your sandals scuff against limestone as you stand in the Grand Plaza of Tikal, and the sound, that small, gritty whisper of soul against stone, carries farther than it should. There's no crowd to swallow it. No merchants haggling over cacao beans. No children darting between the legs of adults. Just you and the ruins, and a silence so complete it feels like a physical presence pressing against your eardrums. It's late afternoon, and the light slants golden through the canopy of sabre trees that have reclaimed this place. Vines curl around the base of Temple 1, that towering pyramid that once announced the power of Jasur Chankawil to anyone approaching the city. You tilt your head back, way back, to see the temple crest piercing the sky 145 feet above you. The stones are still precisely fitted, edge to edge, the work of engineers who understood sacred geometry and astronomical alignments with a precision that wouldn't be matched in Europe for centuries. But look closer. There, in the ceremonial plaza where kings once danced in jaguar pelts and quetzal feathers, you can see the remnants of something that doesn't belong. Simple post holes for thatched roofs. Squatter dwellings. By the end of the 9th century, when this city was gasping its last breath, royal palaces had become makeshift housing for people who built their homes from wood and palm fronds, right on top of monuments that had taken generations to complete. You walk slowly. No need to hurry, there's no one to meet. And your fingers trail along a carved stela. The glyphs are still crisp under your touch. A king's genealogy, his victories, his cosmic right to rule. The Maya believed time was cyclical, that history would repeat in great wheels of creation and destruction. Standing here, you wonder if they saw it coming, if their priests, who could predict solar eclipses centuries in advance, ever looked up from their stone books and felt the first tremors of the ending. The thing is, this wasn't supposed to happen. Not here. Not to them. At its height, and we're talking roughly 250 to 800 CE, what scholars call the Classic period, Maya civilization was jaw-droppingly sophisticated. We're talking about a culture that had true writing, when most of the world was still using symbols and pictures. They had the concept of zero, which sounds simple until you realize that ancient Rome, for all its engineering genius, never figured that one out. Maya astronomers tracked Venus with such accuracy that their calculations were off by only 2 hours over a period of 500 years. 2 hours. Your weather app can't predict rain that accurately for next Tuesday. You move toward the ball court, your footsteps echoing off the slanted walls. This is where they played pits, that brutal game that was equal parts sport, ritual, and cosmic reenactment. Historians still argue whether the winning team or the losing team got sacrificed. Imagine training your whole life for a game and being genuinely unsure whether victory means glory or death. The ball court is empty now, the stone rings that served as goals still jutting from the walls like silent witnesses. You can almost hear it. The thud of the heavy rubber ball, the roar of spectators packed into the tiered seating. the sharp intake of breath when someone made an impossible shot with their hip. But listen. Really listen. What you're hearing underneath the bird calls and the rustle of leaves is the sound of absence. This city once held perhaps 90,000 people. 90,000. That's a small modern city, all crammed into a pre-industrial urban center with towering pyramids instead of skyscrapers, with plazas instead of parking lots. And then, over the course of maybe a century, which sounds like a long time but is barely 3 human lifetimes, it emptied. The Maya collapse isn't a single moment. It's not Pompeii, frozen in volcanic ash. It's slower, stranger, more like watching a tapestry unravel, thread by thread, until you're holding nothing but fragments and wondering what the full picture used to be. Over 80 different theories have been proposed to explain what happened here. 80. That's how complicated this mystery is. Some scholars point to warfare, and we'll get to that, to the violence that scarred these final decades. Others blame environmental catastrophe, the land exhausted by centuries of intensive agriculture. Still others see political collapse, a failure of the very systems that had held this civilization together. You climb the steep steps of Temple 1, each riser almost knee-high, forcing you to haul yourself upward like a pilgrim approaching something sacred. Your thighs burn. Your breath comes harder. The Maya didn't build these for comfort. They built them to remind you that reaching the gods required effort, sacrifice, the willingness to push your body beyond its easy limits. At the top, you turn and look out over the plaza, over the temples rising from the jungle canopy like stone ships in a green sea. From up here, you can see how the forest has won, how nature has patiently, relentlessly reclaimed what humans carved from it. There's something deeply unsettling about standing in a place that was abandoned but not destroyed. If an army had sacked Tikal, if foreign invaders had burned it to the ground, that would make a kind of sense. But that's not what happened. The Maya left. They simply stopped maintaining their cities, stopped carving their victory stelae, stopped gathering in these plazas. By 900 CE, the great southern lowland cities, Tikal, Copán, Palenque, Calakmul, were ghost towns. Some people remained, scratching out lives in the shadows of monuments they no longer understood. But the civilization that had built all this, that had tracked the stars and invented chocolate, and created an art style so distinctive you can spot it from across a museum, that civilization was gone. Here's a quirky detail that archaeologists love. The Maya were obsessed with the color blue. They invented a specific pigment, Maya blue, that's so chemically stable, it still glows brilliant and bright on murals 1,500 years old. They used it everywhere, on pottery, on walls, on the bodies of sacrificial victims. It was sacred, associated with rain and the god Chark. And they made it from a combination of indigo plant dye and a rare clay mineral, heated just right. That kind of technical knowledge, that cultural continuity, required for specialized crafts to be passed down generation to generation. All of it vanished when the cities emptied. The sun is sinking now, and the ruins are turning amber and shadow. You make your way down the pyramid, careful on the worn steps, and as you reach the plaza floor, you notice something carved into the base of a nearby stela. It's a date in the long count calendar, that magnificently complicated system the Maya used to track time across millennia. You can't read it, not really, not without years of study, but you know it marks something important. A king's accession, a military victory, a celestial event. It also marks, though it doesn't say so, the countdown to an ending no one saw coming. You're walking back through the forest now, following a trail that didn't exist when this city was alive. The sounds of the jungle fold around you. Howler monkeys in the distance, the rustle of something small moving through undergrowth, the eternal chorus of insects tuning their instruments for the night performance. Behind you, The temples are disappearing into shadow and greenery, becoming part of the landscape again, patient and silent. There's something strangely peaceful about it now, in this quiet hour. The tragedy happened so long ago that it's softened into mystery. The sharp edges worn smooth by time. You think about those last residents, the ones who stayed when everyone else had gone, who built their simple houses in plazas that had once held thousands. What did they think? Waking each morning to monuments they could no longer read, did they tell stories about the people who had come before? Did they remember? Or did the knowledge slip away like water through fingers? The path leads you away from Tikal, back toward the world you know, where cities are full and loud and restless, but you carry something with you now. A feeling, maybe, or a question about how even the grandest human achievements are built on foundations we don't fully control, about how time moves in cycles, and silence eventually comes for all of us, and the jungle is always waiting to reclaim what we borrowed. The stars are coming out above the canopy, the same stars the Maya watched. You keep walking, slow and thoughtful, as the darkness gathers and the ancient city breathes its endless, patient breath behind you. Sleep well.